Okay, so good morning. Today I'm recording lecture from section 12.3. 12.3, we're talking about solving a system of equation by addition method. Addition method, many of you know that as elimination method. Okay, so in 12.2, I teach you how to solve system of equation by substitution. Now I'm going to teach you how to solve system of equation using addition method, which is the same as elimination method. So on the slide 2, you have steps how to solve system of linear equation using addition method. So we'll quickly go over all those steps and then we'll practice them. Okay, so the step 1, what we need to do, we need to write both equations in standard form, which means we keep x and y together on the left side and the number which is by itself on the right side. So we're going to rewrite our system, our two equations in standard form. What is recommended if your equations have fractions or decimal, you want to clear them. You want to clear all the fractions and decimals. This is optional, but we all know that it's just easier to solve them when there's no fraction and decimals. So how you clear fractions, you're just finding the LCD, lowest common denominator, and you multiply each expression by LCD. Now, step 3, multiply one or both equations by non-zero number to create the opposite coefficient for one of the variable. So you want to have, let's say, one equation to have, let's say, 3x, and the second equation have opposite variable in front of x, like negative 3x. Why are we going to do it? Because we're going to add, that's step 4, we're going to add equations vertically, and when we have opposite coefficients, one of the variable will be eliminated. So when we will eliminate one of the variable, you will end up with the equation which only have one variable, and we know how to solve those type of the equations. When you will solve that equation and you will end up with one of the variable, like y equal 5, you will go back to step 6, where you will substitute the no value from step 5 into one of original equation to solve for the other variable. And step 7, check if the solution, which is the order pair, works for both equations. So that's all the steps. Again, I'm not spending too much time of explaining all of them because we're going to practice problems and then I will be writing those steps for you guys. Okay, so let me show you how to solve system of equations using elimination method. When you guys will be taking a test, you will have system of equation to solve, and it's going to be up to you which method you want to use it, substitution or addition method, which is just elimination method. Okay, so what we're going to do, first we're going to solve the first equation, which is 3x plus 5y equals 17, 2x minus y equal negative 6. So let me go to the whiteboard. Okay, and this is example 1, so let's solve it. So we have 3x plus 5y equals 17 and 2x minus y equal negative 6. So this is the system of equation. We have equation 1, let me label them, and equation 2. Okay. So step number 1 was on the PowerPoint to write both equations in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. So we already have both equations here written in standard form, which means x and y's are together on the left side, just numbers are on the right side. So what we're planning to do next? Next, we're trying to eliminate one of the variables. The idea is to add those equations together. So look what happened. When you're using addition method, I'm going to pick the variable which I want to eliminate will be y. Why I'm going to pick y? Because I already have opposite sign. The first equation has positive 5y, and the second equation has negative 1y. So opposite sign, that's what you want to have it. Now, what we're going to do, it will be nice to have negative 5y in second equation. So when we will add equations together, they will cancel. So what we're going to do now, we're going to multiply, so here, multiply equation 2 by 5. Okay, so we're going to multiply equation 2 by 5 so we can create the opposite of 5y, which will be negative 5y. So I'm going to rewrite equation 1, which is 3x plus 5y equals 17. And I'm building equivalent equation 2, which means I multiply the left side of equation 2 by 5 and the right side of equation 2 by 5. Again, so this is equation 1, and again, that's equation 2. So let me simplify equation 2. So when we simplify, we will end up with 10x minus 5y equal negative 30. So let me rewrite them. Equation 1 is 3x plus 5y equals 17. Equation 2 is 10x minus 5y equal negative 30. So when we multiply equation 2 by 5, look what happened. The idea is to create the opposite coefficient of one of the variable. In this case, we pick y. So when you have those opposite coefficients in both equations, your next step is add equations together vertically. So I'm adding equations together vertically. So look what happened. We have 3x plus 10x, which will be 13x. 5y plus negative 5y is just 0. So equal 17 minus 30, which is negative 13. So after, when we add equations together, the idea of addition method means that variable y cancel, and now we can solve the remaining equation for x. So to solve for x, we divide both sides by 13, and we end up with x equal negative 1. So we already have x coordinate of our solution, which is a point. So when you find that x equal negative 1, what we're going to do next, substitute x with negative 1 and go back to one of the first original equation. So we're going back here. And you can pick any equation you wanted. You can pick equation 1 or equation 2. I will go back to original equation 2. I pick original equation 2 because it's just easier to solve for y. And solve it for y, because you still have to figure out what is y. So look what happened. Our original equation 2 is 2x minus y. 2x minus y equal negative 6. So again, equation 2. Original is 2x minus y equal negative 6. We already know that x is equal negative 1, so we're replacing x with negative 1. So that will be 2 times negative 1 minus y equal negative 6. We're getting negative 2 minus y equal negative 6. And just solve for y. So I'm adding 2 to both sides. We're getting negative y equal negative 4 and divide each by negative 1. So we're getting y equal 4. And now when you have x and y, you know the solution is the order pair x comma y, which means negative 1 comma 4. And when you solve system of equation, you can always check if that point is the solution by replacing x and y from original equations 1 and 2 with those values and make sure that you will end up with 17 and negative 6. I'm going to skip checking work for you guys, but this is how you're solving system of equation by addition, which means elimination method. You always want to eliminate one of the variable. So what we're going to do next, we're going to practice more problems. Also here on the PowerPoint, which will be available for you, you guys have all the steps written. Excuse me. Next, I have on slide 5 a couple different examples. So I want to go over at least 4 of them. There's 4 of them. So I will go over all of them just to practice that addition method. Okay. So let's practice more. So in section 12.3, I only cover addition method, which we call elimination method. So more examples. Solve the system. So solve each system using addition method. Okay, so first one, 4x plus 3y equal 3. The second equation is x minus 2y equal 9. So that's the system. I have 2 equations. Okay, equation 1, equation 2. So step number 1, when we're using addition method, you want to make sure that your equations are written in standard form, which yes, we have that. So when we have that, now we have to come up with the plan. The idea is to eliminate one of the variable. So my plan is, let's eliminate x. So how we can eliminate x? The first equation has 4 in front of x. The second equation has 1 in front of x. So to eliminate x, I need 4 and negative 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply equation 2 by negative 4 so we can have opposite coefficients. So let's eliminate x by multiplying equation 2 by negative 4. So why we pick negative 4? Because the first equation has 4 in front of x. So you always want to have opposite. So we multiply by negative 4. So let me copy the first equation, which we're not changing. This is 4x plus 3y equals 3. Again, equation 1. And the second equation, we multiply the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation by -4. So let me simplify that. So equation 1, it's still 4x plus 3y equal 3. The second equation, I'm going to distribute that -4 to both. So we'll end up with -4x plus 8y equal -36. So that's the equivalent equation 2. So now look what happened. When we finally have opposites in front of x from the first and second equation, now it's time to add equations together. So next, add both equations. So I'm adding both equations vertically. So I have 4x minus 4x, it's equals 0. 3y plus 8y, that will give us 11y, equal 3 minus 36, it's -33. So we're going to solve for y. So the idea of adding equations that you will end up only with one equation, one variable. So we solving for y, and we end up with y equal -3. Now, when you have one variable, so what you're doing next, go back to original equation and substitute y with -3 and solve the equation for x, because we still need to figure out what is x. So I'm going back to original equation, and you have two choices. You can pick equation 1 or equation 2. Don't forget that now we're trying to figure out what is x. So it's just better to select equation 2, which is, again, just 1x. So it's super easy to solve that equation for x. So I will pick original equation 2 to figure out what is x. So pick original equation 2. So original equation 2 is x minus 2y equal 9. And again, where we used to have y, we plug in a -3. So we have x minus 2 times -3 equal 9. X plus 6 equal 9. Subtract 6. We're getting that x is equal 3. So when we have x and we have y, we know the solution. So the solution is ordered per x comma y, which is 3 comma -3. So that's the point where two straight lines will intersect. Okay, I'm going to skip checking answers for you guys, but if you're not sure, you guys can you can go ahead and check if it works. Okay, so we continue. Going to solve 3 more examples using addition method. So this is example 2. We have 8n equal 4 minus 5m, 7m plus 6n equal -10. Okay, so in this case, equation 1 is not in a standard form. So what you want to do in example 2, you want to rewrite equation 1 in standard form. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. So x and y, in this case, n and m, we're keeping both together on the left side. So the equation 1, let me change that. We have 8n equal 4 minus 5m. I'm going to move 5m to the left side. So we have 5m plus 8n equal 4. So that will be my equation 1. So now let me rewrite the system. So we have 5m plus 8n equal 4. Copy equation 2, which is 7m plus 6n equal negative 10. So we have equation 1 and equation 2. Now what we want to do, we want to eliminate one of the variable m or n. So I have to create the opposites. Here it's not so easy to create the opposites, so let me just come up with the idea. So the plan is to eliminate n. Okay, so I want to eliminate n. So what I need to do, I need to create the opposites in front of n. Since you have 8 and 6, so when you have 8 and 6, you want to find least common multiple of 8 and 6. Okay, so technically find the number which can divide both 8 and 6. So least common multiple of 8 and 6 is 24. So 24 can divide 8 and 24 can divide 6. Okay, so when you know the LCM of coefficients 8 and 6, you want to build 24. So your idea is you want to replace 8n with 24n, and you want to replace 6n with negative 24n. Okay, so then we'll have those opposite, and when we add the equations together, we will eliminate that n. So how we can do it? So this is what we're going to do. To get 24n in equation 1, I need to multiply equation 1 by 3. So 8n times 3 will become the 24n. What I'm going to do with equation 2, to get negative 24n in equation 2, so I need to multiply entire equation 2 by negative 4. Because negative 4 times 6 will give me that negative 24n. Okay, so this is the plan. Okay, so let me do that. So equation 1, we're going to build equivalent equation. We multiply everything by 3. So we have 3 times, copy the left side of equation 1, which is 5m plus 8n equal 3 times 4. And equation 2, we multiply entire equation 2 by negative 4. So negative 4 times the left side of the equation, which is 7m plus 6n equal negative 4 times the right side of the equation, which is negative 10. Okay, so we building equivalent system. Let us simplify, distribute 3 to both. So we end up with 15m plus 24n equal 12. This is equation 1. And here we end up with negative 28m minus 24n equal 40, equation 2. So now look what happened. After doing that step, we finally have opposite in front of the variable n. So our next step will be add equations together. And we adding them when that's the time to add them, when you have those opposite coefficients. So we adding equations together. We end up with negative 15m minus 28m. That will give us negative 13m equal 52. Divide each by negative 13, and we end up with m equal negative 4. And when we find m, we're going to use the substitution. So now when you have one of the variable, go back to original problem. Select you still have to solve that equation for n. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick equation 1, original equation 1, replace m with negative 4 and solve for n. So to solve for n, pick original equation 1. You can select equation 2. So original equation 1, it's 8n equal 4 minus 5m. We're going to replace m with negative 4 and solve that for n. So we have 8n equal 4 minus 5 times negative 4. This is 8n equal 4 plus 20. 8n equal 24 divided by 8, n equal 3. So now the solution is okay, the solution is mn. So we're going to keep the order like an alphabet, which is negative 4 comma 3. Okay. Okay, so I will go over 2 more examples for practice. So you guys, if you know how to solve it, you can try to go ahead and practice them on Alex. But let me solve it 2 more, so we have a lot of examples. Okay, so this one, it's 15x minus 16y equal 1, 45x plus 4y equals 16. Okay, so in this case, we already have both equations in standard form. What I'm going to do, I'm going to eliminate y. Because I already have opposite sign, now I need the opposite coefficient. And to get that opposite coefficient, I will multiply equation 2 by 4. Because if we multiply equation 2 by 4, so that 4y will become 16y. And that's what we wanted. So let me copy equation 1 without changes. This is 15x minus 16y equal 1. And equation 2, entire equation 2, I multiply by 4. So we have 45x plus 4y equal 4 times 16. Okay. So the first equation, let's copy. This is just 15x minus 16y equal 1. The second equation, we distribute 4 to both. So that will become 180 x plus 16y equals 64. Now, when we finally have opposites in front of y, I'm going to add those equations together. And that will give us 195 x equals 65, and just divide each by 195. to solve for x. So we end up with x equal 1/3. So when we have x equal 1/3, now we still need to figure out what is y. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick equation 2 and replace x with 1/3 and solve that equation for y. So now I will go back to original equation 2 and solve for y. So original equation 2, it's 45x plus 4y equals 16. And we're replacing x with 1/3. So this is 45 times 1/3 plus 4y equals 16. So we have 15 plus 4y equals 16. Subtract 15 from both sides, and we're getting 4y equal 1. Divide each by 4, and we're getting y equal 1/4. And now we have the solution. Is the point 1/3, 1/4. So always x first and y first. So that means those two straight lines intersect at this given point. And my last example has fractions, so I quickly want to go over that example. You have 2/3 x minus 3/4y equal 2. And the second equation is 8x minus 9y equals 6. So what I'm going to do here, I really don't like equation 1 because it has fractions. So let's remove fractions from equation 1. Okay, so copy that equation 1, 2/3 x minus 3/4y equal 2. Find the least common denominator or the least common divisor of the number which you see on the bottom, which is 3 and 4. So the number which can divide 3 and 4 will be 12. So to avoid to have fractions, what you're going to do, multiply both sides by 12. So I multiplied the left side of the equation by 12. So we have 12 times 2/3x minus 3/4y equal 12 times 2. And now we'll distribute 12 to both. So we have 12 times 2/3x minus 12 times 3/4y equal 24. So 12 divided by 3, it's 4. 4 times 2, we end up with 8x. 12 divided by 4, it's 3. 3 times 3, it's 9. Minus 9y equal 24. So this is our equivalent equation 1. So now let me rewrite that system with the equivalent equation 1, which is 8x minus 9y equal 24. And copy equation 2, 8x minus 9y equals 6. So equation 1, equation 2. So now we have to come up with the plan. My plan will be eliminate x. So in order to eliminate x, I should have the opposite. So to get the opposite, which will be 8 and negative 8, I'm going to multiply equation 1 by negative 1 to get that opposite. So this is negative 1 times 8x minus 9y equal negative 1 times 24. And equation 2, just leave it with no changes. So after distributing, after when you distribute -1, we end up with negative 8x plus 9y equal negative 24, and 8x minus 9y equals 6. Now we're going to add those equations together and look what happened. This is 0 and this is 0. So we end up with 0, it's equal negative 24 plus 6, which it's equal negative 18. So since this is not true, this is false, okay? So the system has no solution, which means the system, going back to the 12.1 section, the system is inconsistent, which means the line don't intersect. And the only way that lines won't intersect is when they are parallel to each other. Parallel lines. That's what happened here. So here we have no solution. Okay, this is no solution. And again, make sure that you check that on Alex. You may pick like this notation, which is empty set. Okay, so that's it from section 12.3. I went over many examples how to use the addition method. You guys feel free to use both substitution and addition method. Just pick the one which you like better, because on the test you just need to solve the system. It's going to be up to you how you're going to solve it, which method you prefer. So thank you for watching.